like we're back to a 2-camera setup properly. So I hope you've had a wonderful week. Let's get it so I can see your comments. Yep, okay, I can see everybody now. I hope you've all had a wonderful week and you're ready to do something creative or just relax and watch somebody else do something creative. Either of those things, totally acceptable behavior during a live stream. So today we are going to be scrapbooking photos of 2 different sizes. Let me take you through what we've made in September so far, and then we will get started with today with a very, very British event to scrapbook today. So I will get there and explain all of that. Right, to the desk. Let's go. We have got, let's see, in the order we made them. We did this one first, which had all of the different collections I ever did with American Crafts, plus 2 new headshots from Mr. WB. We then had 3 3x4s from a museum day, and some old stash coming out to play. Then just a little illustration of what an accompanying pocket page might start like to go with that. A pair of 2 3x4s on a starburst page for a starting point that used a gazillion die cuts by the time we were done. Excellent stash usage. And then my kit arrived properly, so we did the back to school page with Simple Stories Book Fair from the Best of Both Worlds kit for September. That was Monday's video. So we now have these photos. I've got 1 4x6, and then I've got 3 little ones, so these are even smaller than 3x4. Now, I always print 2 up when I'm doing something like this, and I only wanted 3 little ones, so I've just filled the empty one with an additional photo that I'll put into my album somewhere, or that he might just stick on his wall or whatever. He has a locker now. He could put his friends inside his locker. What? So we've got 1 big one, 3 little ones, and this event, oh my goodness, it's Heritage Bus Day. Has anyone experienced rocking up to get your bus and you're very confused because it's the right bus number, it's the right destinations, but this is not what a bus normally looks like, and where can I tap in? And so this is what we did because we'd got the bus to our day out early in the morning, no problem, off to lessons. Bend and snap, do 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 do. Yeah, so got the bus out early in the morning, normal bus, modern bus. And then, while he was in his lessons, I happened to look out the window because I could hear, you know how like an old car horn sounds differently than a current one? So I heard old car horns. And I looked out the window, and it was about 6 different vintage buses, all coming down the road. But I assumed it was something like they've been hired for a wedding. That's a really big wedding, but we do see old buses out for weddings quite often. Or the other time you tend to see lots of old vehicles traveling together is when there's something filming that's a period piece and they need vehicles of a certain age to make it look like it is that time, right? So I thought nothing of it and just thought that's what it was and kind of thought, oh, how cool to see on the road. Funny. And went on with waiting for him to come out of lessons. Several hours later, he's finished. It's time for us to go home, and we go to the bus stop, and this is there, and there is somebody at the back because we don't have these doors on many buses now. There's someone here saying, sorry, we're full, no more to get on. And I'm like, but this is picking people up? I mean, it is our bus number. Normally, if it's for a wedding or something, it will say like private event, or it will say congratulations to, and their names or whatever. And so I was very confused. And then there is a dad with small children at the bus stop. And he says, are you just trying to catch the bus? And we said, well, yeah, but we like the old buses. What's going on? And he says, it's 54 Heritage Bus Day, as if everyone knows and celebrates this holiday. I've never heard of 54 Heritage Bus Day. It turns out that every year, for several years now apparently, Our corner of London has chosen a bus route that has been running a long time, and to celebrate the length that it has been running, they bring buses out of retirement from the Brooklands Museum, which we have been to the Brooklands Museum. It has both old buses and old planes and all sorts of old vehicles. There's a Concorde there that you can walk through. And so they bring them all, they make sure they have the right bus blinds, and then they run them all day. And if you get an old one, they're just mixed into the timetable. If you get an old one, it's free because they don't have anywhere for you to tap in, and you can just ride them all day. So there's lots of like bus fans coming to ride them all day. But if you just get one to get where you're going, you can also just have a free journey home because you can take the Heritage bus. Now, the funny thing was, the older the bus, the more crowded it was. So these 3 old double-deckers are buses we could not get on because they were jam-packed and the capacity was being metered. Not like a normal bus here where there might be a maximum where it says, but it's very infrequent that a driver goes, actually, no, I can't take anybody else. Mostly, if we can just keep getting on, we can go. So in the end, we got this one, which is a terrible picture, but it's okay. Memory is there. Our Heritage bus that we were actually able to get on was from 1983. Adorable. Looked very much like the buses that were still running when I moved here in 1998, 99. Yeah. But it was a single decker with no back door, which is really difficult on a crowded London route. So you don't find many London buses now that don't have one door for getting off and one door for getting on at the front and a door for getting off at the back. Although there's only a few buses that have this style, but normally it's here in the middle. And that way you can do both at the same time. People can be getting on the bus and getting off the bus at the same time. When it only has one door, you got to wait for everybody to come to the front and get off. And if there's somebody here who's eager and is trying to push on, it ruins the whole system. Let people off the bus first. And WB, because that's our train rule too. WB is a real stickler for this, and he will totally tell people, or now he is more likely to just tell me when somebody's trying to push onto a tube carriage or something while people are still coming out. He will he used to turn to the person, but now he's a little bit more self-conscious, and he will turn to me and just say, they're pushing on before everyone is on. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. Works is the term. So anyway, Heritage Bus Day. That's what we're going to scrapbook today. They did tell us how many years the 54 has been running, but I have forgotten already. But a great many years the 54 has been running from Woolwich to Beckenham. There we go. So this is what we've got. Let's look at supplies. We have book fair, but then we also have stuff that's not in book fair. I know, Kirsty says 1983 is vintage, that's my school bus era. Yeah. Nikki says he's trained well in the art of British queuing. He really is. I'm not having him be mistaken for a tourist. Okay, so we've got wood grain. Yellow hearts, I think, is game for today. We do have this kind of collage-y effect, and it does have red and it does have old stuff in it, so let's look at that. Not the arrows. Could do this one though. I know we already did one starburst. So those all make for a good potential background. Let us see. Let me give you some options, and then I can open up a poll for voting while I do my speech, yeah? So we have this sort of scenario, and we could do that on yellow hearts, which is option 1. Trying to see if I have a preference of which one of these. I think because of the blues there, I think this one works better. So that's option 1, yellow with hearts. Option 2 is more collage. Much more difficult composition to put this many photos on this particular paper. But there is that option. Option 2, collage paper. Option 3 is the starburst. So we could have this sort of composition down here. Okay, so those are your 3 options. I'm going to put all 3 on here and I'll open a poll. You've got starburst, you've got collage, you've got yellow hearts. I'm putting this one back. Okay, let's open a poll. They've changed the name of the button. Still a poll. Background paper. We've got yellow hearts, collage, starburst. Okay, so you can vote. Yellow hearts, collage, starburst. These are our photos. Right, you can pick while I give my speech. Hello, I'm Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime you scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. That was a really wonky hashtag. Hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, think about coming back to craft or starting something new. It's all good, and everything you need is probably linked in the description box. That includes classes I teach, which I have a brand new one that started this week. It started on Wednesday. We had a welcome video on Wednesday, lesson 1 on Thursday, and there's a live stream today at 2 o'clock. So you can join into that. If you sign up today before about 1, I'll get you in ready to go for the live stream at 2. And then you can go back and watch the welcome and the lesson 1 in your own time. That's fine. Or you could just start at 1 o'clock and smash it all up. And what else do we have? Also, supplies for October, or because we like to think ahead, supplies for Christmas. They're both linked. I've actually pinned both of those shopping links to the top of the live chat, but they're also in the description box with the video. And anything else? Yeah, you can find all sorts of stuff there. The supplies I'm using today, the supplies I'll be using next month, it's all linked. Where you can find me on the internet, you can find it in that box. Yeah, you can come join the Facebook group that is bigger than I could ever have imagined. Or you can follow me in other places. It's all good. Yeah, but I'm here live on Mondays and Fridays and in class the rest of the time. I would love, love, love for you to come join that class. We are doing all the things that just bring us lots of joy in scrapbooking. So I'm sharing the things that make me joyful when I'm scrapbooking and kind of why I've been able to keep this hobby fresh and stay with it for more than 25 years. It started in 1998. But we're not doing like 1998 style scrapbooking. It's all current. But I don't really just want you to be copying the things that bring me joy. Instead, with each lesson, there's a list of things for you to think about to say, okay, so this is something that I brought in today's lesson because it brings me joy. Is that something that also brings you joy? And then you kind of want to bookmark that as something that you want to do. Or is it not, but there's something else, like maybe you like the opposite of what I did there, because there's lots of room for creative freedom. And we're going to talk about all that as we make lots of pages, both 12 by 12s and pockets. I would love for you to join that. All right, let us get a scrapping. Fabulous. So what has the poll said? The poll has said, it looks like the poll has said, can I see the whole thing, please? Oh, the poll has said yellow hearts by quite a margin. All right, yellow hearts wins. Here we go. So we will end that. And we will come. Thanks for whoever just went and signed up straight away. You're amazing. Normally, I have the beeps turned off, and it just beeped at me. I must have forgotten to turn it off. And it was going, you have a new person in your class. Thank you. All right. Oh, my goodness. We have construction work again. They're back. So hopefully you can still hear me, and we just have fuzz in the background, as it were. All right. So with these 3 photos, odd one out, so it's going in the middle. And then these 2 photos both have a direction, so they're going to face in. So then that's really easy to know what order they go in. They go in that order. Yeah. This one, I feel like he's looking that way is the direction of this, so I'm going to put that on the left. So this I do not have to think about at all. Nikki, yes, I will check that when we finish now. Okay. When we finish this video. Not when we finish and now. Those are not the same time. Okay, cool. Right. Let us figure out what we shall do today then with the rest of this. So we have these gorgeous floral pieces to work with, and I think they can come in here. We've also got dots and puffies there. Let's have a look at that cut apart from Book Fair, the cut aparts from Book Fair. Because, every time I pick this up, I think I've torn the paper. It's part of the design. Because most of this is school type stuff, but some of it we could use outside of that. So I think it is okay. For example, looking good can work on almost anything. Take note can work on almost anything. Yeah. This one makes me giggle because clearly no one is going to get this as a school piece unless you're of a certain generation. Because this is when your school had one television and they would wheel it into your class in a trolley. That's my childhood right there. But I don't know how I'll make it into a page, but I love that it's there. It's definitely sparking a memory. And this is definitely one that could be anything. So we're good there. Now, we've definitely got, let's bring this red in here so that we have bus color straight away. And oh, Sarah, I love that you've signed up for the class as a treat. Treat yourself. Take scrapbooking class. Definitely. So we're going to have a solid, I say solid red tag, but do you know what I mean by that? So it's patterned, obviously, but it doesn't have a title on it or an illustration on it. It's just a pattern. So to me, that's a solid, whereas these on the other side, not the same. So the bus is here. I mean, it's a yellow bus, but we don't have a yellow school bus, so I think I might be able to make this work, because when else am I going to make it work? And I've used yellow paper in the background. I think we can do it. I do also have a stamp set with double-decker buses. Georgia says, I posted in the Facebook group asking how people prep for a crop. I'm interested to know your prep too. Have you always been a kit scrapper? So not always a kit for the whole month. That came out of Best of Both Worlds, although Best of Both Worlds has gone a long time because it predates when I was doing videos. I started doing that in 2P's days. I just did it as a shopping list and then a blog post with stuff I had made. So I have been doing that for a long time. However, strangely enough, my process when I was going to crops was the same as Glitter Girls that she shows in the Kit Me Up Before You Go video. I think it's totally coincidental that we have the same process, but we do. So there you go. Justine has never been to a crop. I haven't been to one for a long time. In fact, the last time I think I scrapbooked in a room with other people was when Georgia was there. I don't think I've done an event after that. Okay, I'm curious. I'm taking the red one here, but I'm curious what the other side of this is. Oh, it is a journaling one with flowers. Okay, so we could use either side of this to be fair. Okay, so that's going to give me something to write on. And then this cut apart is interesting because it's pastels, but there's also red and navy blue in it. So there we go. Justine, whereabouts are you? Justine needs scrappy friends in real life. If we're going to find you somebody, like, we got a network. We got a gazillion people on that, not a gazillion. We got a gazillion people on that Facebook group. Let's find the nearest crop to Justine. Justine, where do you live? Justine, please dox yourself. What area of the world would you like to find a crop for? I mean, don't tell us your postcode. Just give us an idea so we can try and hook you up. That's what I mean. Midlands-ish. Okay, there we go. Live chat and Facebook folks, we got a challenge for you. Crops in the Midlands that would be commutable for Bedford. Okay? There we are. Okay, so do we want anything from here? These are the nice, the same collection. So the off-white here is the same off-white there. I kind of like this one a lot. Joanne, sorry, she's in England. Joanne's ready to scrap with her in Australia. It's just a tiny commute, okay, Justine? Just hop over to Australia with all your kits and then go back. Georgia says, Paper Fox and Hey Little Magpie might both be commutable for you. So have a look at those. Let's get you scrapping with real people. It's fun. All right. We got things there. And we have these. But we need a piece of paper now, other than this background, because I need paper to do these layers. So what do we have? Unfortunately, I don't have that Bow Bunny background pack because I ended up doing a local order and nobody had it. So I might need to substitute. So what do we have in here in terms of the solid colors? And we have more of that red. Pencils. Different red. Orange. Let me just make sure I've got 2 sheets of that, but I think I do. I love you that you went to the Black Sabbath ballet, Nikki. That's amazing. Just making sure that I do have another sheet of that one. I do. Okay, I have 2 of those. So I can use this. And I'd also like to pull in the lighter of the blue-green. It's here and it's there. I think if I went with the darker one, do you see this versus the intensity of the blue sky? I don't love, but I think the lighter shade, just great. So I'm gonna have to pull from Stash to get a sheet in that color, but I think we can do it. So let's check Doodlebug and Bella besties first. I think I was looking at my Doodlebug background stash. Like, pink. Because almost every one of their collection kits includes pink. I have a lot of the pink. All right. No, the blue one is too dark, I think. Oh, it's kind of in the middle. What do we think? If it's small, that could work. All right. Yeah, Justine needs just a single day crop and to stay close enough to home that she can get back in a reasonable time frame. Where's the Doodlebug shelf? There. Don't put things on the wrong shelf. That confuses me. And then from Bella Besties, what do we have in here? Pink, red, green. These are not besties, these are just normal patterns. Okay. I think we're gonna try orange plus turquoise, but we might need, should I take that red? This one? Oh, it's white though with, I really need it to be red. So let's have the red hearts here. Okay, so we got color scheme of red, orange, yellow, skip green on the color wheel, blue. Okay, this goes on this shelf. I think you should have, if you've got the if you've got the Bo Bunny pack, that's what I mean. You should have all three of these colors in there. So that's what I would suggest using. I just don't have that paper pad. I'm hoping that I do get it because I really like it. Right, let's start here. Shall we go with the orange nearest, because I don't want to put the blue right next to the photos because then that's the most obvious clash. Instead, let's start with orange and then we can frame that with the red. So what I want to do here is make a big box. By taking this and cutting horizontally. So I'm working with this here. It's going to end up cut here, but not yet. And then I'm going to take these three and put them on a layer of red to make a box here that we're then going to put on top of that. 1, 2, now, do I just want them in a line like this? I might. Nope. Smaller ones, I'm liking the red in between. Justine, I would say you can definitely start with a crop where you're not away overnight, and then once you're feeling comfy about it, then you could book a day away, like an overnight one. Yeah. Because that way you get a little test of your feelings about going off to do something else. Hello, Sophia. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Okay. So then we have this to go over the top there. Let's do some inking here. A random rubbish crop. Where would we have it? Like, I'd love to have a crop nearby here, but also, for those of you who don't live around here, venues and everything, they're going to have London tax. Just, you know how like things, if you say that it's for a wedding, suddenly the same supplies are more expensive. Yeah, London is like that. It's not an actual London tax. It's just everything is more expensive in London. So, I mean, to be honest, I think you should all travel down to London. We crop all day and then we go to a show. Just that's how I would do it. Bit of scrapping, bit of theater, some cake in between. Justine is like, I have a village hall. It's across the street from my house. That's where we should have it. It wouldn't have London tax. It's true. We do have the village hall where there's no parking. We do have that. Don't drive. No parking. So we're going to have this sort of scenario, which means I would like to tear up this paper. Why do you always do this, Shimelle? Okay, here's why. The reason I have a real habit of bringing in a torn paper is because it is an instant and easy balance to something getting super boxy. So I look at this and think, ooh, this is a lot of rectangles on rectangles on rectangles on rectangles. So I need something that's different from that. And tearing the paper is a really quick and easy way to do that. And so then I have some sort of motion type shape going here. A motion type shape. I promise I knew words before the start of this live stream. But what I mean is, don't worry, I have another sheet of this. It's okay. What I mean is I want something with movement, meaning not straight lines and 90-degree angles. But you know what I'm like. I very infrequently like straight lines with just different angles. So it often works like this. Okay. So now I have that, and how much of this red background paper do I have left? I love that. See how the blue is just going to be ever so slightly longer? We are game. If you had done this on the collage background, all of the collage would have been covered. Yeah, I would have to do a completely different composition on the collage paper. So yeah, it would not have worked with this plan. No boxiness. So we're going to have a big chunk of red, get us back to that red bus plan. And it's going to be, because I can, now that I've got one shape that's not a rectangle, I can put it back on a rectangle. It's fine. And that is going to go on the yellow. Fabulous. Happy me. Now, I felt like I inked this once, but it doesn't look like it, so maybe I only inked it in my imagination. Let's try again. Justine is really pushing for Bedford. She's like, it's not far off the M1 and it's central. Talk to me about train stations, honey. Train stations. If you want me to get there, I gotta be able to get there by train or bus or tube. But the last time I went to a crop, that one that I saw Georgia at, I had to hire a car to go, and oh my goodness, I have core memories from the fact that I picked up the hire car and it stunk of smoke, and I was terrified for two specific reasons, other than just not enjoying the smell of somebody else's smoke left in a car. But one, I had scrapbook supplies with me, and I did not want them to be all smoky. And number two, I was going straight in from the car to the welcome event. And I didn't want to stink of somebody else's smoke. I didn't want my supplies to or me. And so I sat in the car. Well, I sat like just outside of the car. Like I opened all the windows and was sitting in the car park for a minute trying to gather my composure because I was very concerned about this. All right. Why does it look crooked? I don't think it is. It's just my eyeballs. It is a little bit crooked. It's very small though. That's not even on the left and right. Okay, that's centered left to right. I'm looking at the dip in the hearts in order to maybe straighten it up. Okay. There we go. Justine's like, I'll pick you up at this station. It's 45 minutes from central London and my car does not smell of smoke. Justine is on it today. How many people do you think we can fit in this village hall of yours? Right. And then once we've decided on this, we got to talk about Paul Hollywood, because I just can't. What on earth? Okay. The bus is here. So we have all this orange space up here. I feel like that's too close. I feel like we bring this down here. Oh! What? Your village hall sounds huge. You've got tables to put 40 people in there? That's impressive. Okay. It's mild. It's mild Bake Off spoilers, but I'm not going to tell you who won. I haven't even watched the whole episode. We just need to talk about Paul Hollywood's description of s'mores, wherein he pretended the s'mores are not a comfort food of the people and that they are purely a gourmet delicacy. Made, like with Michelin stars. And precision, okay? So this is the moment I'm taking umbrage with. Paul, you should not be able to make a plate of identical s'mores. That's a dessert inspired by s'mores, okay? It's whatever kind of dessert you're making with a s'mores twist, like inspiration. No, he was not being ironic. It was the challenge. You're going to make a tray of identical looking s'mores. And you're making the marshmallows from scratch. You're making digestives from scratch. Americans, that's our answer to the graham cracker, but it's older. FYI, if they had done s'mores on the Bake Off in the old days, when we, instead of adverts, got the little documentary bit where Mel or Sue would have gone to the town that originated something. Oh my word, for Mel and or Sue to do the history of the graham cracker, because it is the most hilarious story ever, and I just want you to look it up because I can't. It's not family friendly enough for me to put on my YouTube channel, but it's hilarious. So digestive biscuits here in the UK, digestive biscuits are called digestive biscuits because they're supposed to settle your stomach in the days where our medicine was things like you should eat this thing to make your stomach feel better. Digestive biscuits were supposed to settle your stomach, okay? Like absorb extra acid or whatever. And the sort of thing that I'm 100% sure would totally be debunked in like 5 seconds today, but we didn't know that, and the name has stuck. So it's a cookie, it's a biscuit. There you go. But Sophia says that s'mores are gourmet for Brits just by virtue of them being foreign. You're hilarious. But anyway, he said they needed to be precise and they all needed to be individual. And we all know a s'more is a campfire treat. Ergo, is not looking identical. No, no, no. Justine has gone out in the village to take pictures of the village hall. Oh, my heart. I can't handle it. So, yeah. Which one do we like better? I like this one better. Let's do that side. But I did a terrible job at cutting these. Let's try again. So, yes. Elaine said the digestives have been debunked on an episode of QI. Of course they have. Amazing. Exactly the appropriate place to be publicly debunked. I love it. Yeah, so I just feel like I can't go without saying, don't worry, we know Paul is wrong. And he's probably said it to get us all talking about it because we know that's how Bake Off works. I need somebody to have just gone and Googled the origin of graham crackers and come back laughing. But anyway, yeah. So, Paul, you're wrong. This is it. And yesterday, day before, one or the other. There's a account that just is hilarious, but it's entirely user-generated content in that they repost but grouped like jokes all about something, but they're taking like people's tweets and threads and updates and stuff like that, and then they're putting them in one little package on a theme. I love posts like that. It can like really brighten a grumpy day. And the number of people who saw this one and immediately sent it to me going, what is your country doing to s'mores? I'm sorry, they're messing them up. Nikki says, will you be doing them for your next baking spree? Well, I'm not going to do them the Paul way. No. But I do make a mean, well, 1, I make a mean s'more. 2, I make a mean s'more brownie. 3, I make a mean s'more cupcake. I can make all sorts of s'more-inspired things and never get bored of that combination. I love it. But, oh my goodness, Paul is wrong. Okay. I've said my piece. I need you all to watch and be like, what are you even on, sir? You are completely wrong. With all due respect, no. Stick to bread. This is not it. Paul is a bread expert. But yeah, I feel like somebody needed to step in and say, sir, no. Okay, back to this. So I want to bring the red in. We've got these 2 tags down here. We're going to have a tag up here somewhere to bring height, and it's going to have that. But what we need to do is bring these flowers in, and then that's going to help the tag make sense. When does the Shimelle cookbook come out? Honey, go. I'm not doing a book, but if you go to my blog, there is a cupcake tab that has loads of recipes, including the pumpkin cupcakes, which hilariously I know have a dedicated following because the 1st of October hits, and the stats for that page, even though it's like 15 years old, go ping! And on Pinterest, ping! So there we go. There we are. Oh, hold on. Justine, if you were trying to post a link, it might not let you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even see it to like approve it. It just doesn't get to me. YouTube says, nope, can't post links. Sorry. Sarah has a local donut company that makes s'mores donuts. Homemade marshmallow filling, toasted marshmallows on top. I'm here for it. That's fine. A s'mores donut. A s'more, anything, I'm all good with. Just not make it poncy and then call it a s'more. That is not a s'more. It's true. Sophia says Jamie Oliver has been offending foreign sensibilities with bonkers takes on national dishes for years. We have form on this. We should not be surprised. No, it's true. We should not be surprised. All right. So let us now look. Do I have one that's kind of close? Oh, yes. So this is that one. Let's use the same thing. If Georgia made a cookbook, it would be called Burnt. Amazing. So here's what I'm thinking is that this can go like that. And then I don't want to cover up too much. So we'll go here. I know this gives us a funny little valley there, but I might just add in more flowers. It's all right. Oh, I really did do a terrible job at cutting these tags. What was my problem? There's like just a sliver of the next design on every single one. So annoying. See you later, Sophia. Right, so let's then stick a this baby so that it is there. Yeah. I want this one, then can I put that underneath the flowers maybe? Weird valley from that too. What happens if I just put it underneath here? Too regimented. Let's just put it in and then we'll deal with the valley. This is the valley, I mean, this little weird bit of space there. So I'm looking here, I don't want that. So we're gonna overlap this leaf onto that letter enough that we don't have red showing through there. Okay, then let's look for a little bit of extra that we can add in. So we can put in, that is literally the same art in a different color. So not that leaf, but we could bring in something like, this is different. So that could go, can it cover what we need it to cover? Yes, I'm okay with that tiny little bit there, that's fine. And this could go over the top, maybe in this gap here. Yeah. Oh, Nikki says you watch Time Team on YouTube. They're currently doing a dig for Disney. So I know who, I know of Time Team. I used to watch it years ago, but I haven't watched it in a long, long time. But that is really interesting. I will have a little look-see to see what and where they are digging. And then here, I think maybe that doesn't end up a die cut, that just ends up like a little puffy or something. Okay. I mean, that one is the right size. Should we just go with it? And then we can do 3 little puffies on that side. Okay, now more flowers. We need more flowers. We need flowers here. Yes. Okay. Gonna need some lettering for a title as well. I know the pencil's going up, but I like it this way. Okay. Now, bring the puffy idea down here, put it over the bus. Okay. Let's look at some lettering. Now, what do we have left on that set that we're using for the whole year that I keep forgetting to use? They don't really work, do they? Okay. So let's spell something out instead. Nikki's like, I'd post a link. It's okay. We can search Time Team, Disney Dig. It's all right. Right. What kind of lettering do we feel? I mean, go orange. What's this one? It's decided to come out of its little spot. That does not work. You can go back there. Okay. Oh, I was hoping that was kind of a better match, but it's not. Okay. No, none of those really work. Right. Nikki says, the best sticker here now covers the edge of the blue torn paper, and the flowers cover a lot too. How much could you cover before it goes boxy again? Well, this is enough to show you that it's not boxy, and also now I've replaced one organic shape with another organic shape here. And I honestly wouldn't ordinarily put this one here. I would keep that tiny bit there and bring it higher up, but because of the design of the bus, it just works best in that space there to follow those black lines. But yeah, so this is quite all right. It's fine. Also, it's not the end of the world if you completely cover it. Been there, done that, it's fine. These things happen. Okay. What's in these? That one? Oh, what am I doing? I have to spell it because I've never scrapbooked this, and I need to tell this. There's two stories here to tell. So one is about the Heritage Day. This bus is called the bus 50. It's called the 54 bus. And when we're waiting for the 54 bus, we sing, "Bus 54, where are you?" Which I eventually had to explain to my child because he thought this was just my own composition, because of course he is nowhere near the right era to know Car 54. And, you know, I know at least half of you here are too young to know Car 54. But there we go. Cynthia wants to know how you get crowns. The crowns are automatic from YouTube. It's the 3 people who've chatted the most. So if you keep chatting, you get a crown. They're fluid. They move through the live chat. Okay, so we need Bus 54, where are you, as a title, which means spelling it. None of this phrase stuff. We need letters that can spell. Is it, you know, opposed to letters that don't spell? That makes no sense, Shimelle. But what do we have? Bus 54. Oh, okay. These could be nice for the 54. Red glittery. Are there numbers left? Yeah. Okay, so we can have the 5 and the 4 from this. And George is working, so she doesn't have a crown today. She's watching on subtitles. Oh. Well, here's an idea. So these were actually Christmas numbers. But, you know, there's a 5 and a 4, and we could do bus 54. Okay, So let's do that. I'm assuming I can spell bus here. Yeah. I don't know how much space is it going to need. And Georgia took a break from the calls to eat a cupcake. Excellent choice. We applaud life decisions. Bus. Will my 5 and my 4 fit here? They're quite big. Nope. I'm going to have to go further over. Okay. Whoa, they're bigger than the word bus. Okay, but we're going to make it work. Yes, mixing white and cream. So there's a reason I was drawn to the cream, because right now I only have 2. I have this cream, which is the same as that cream. Maybe I have 3. These are a mix too. But this is white. That's white. So if I bring in a third one, so to me, 2 is a no, 3 or more is a yes. So we're either 1 or we're 3 or more. So there we go. All right. I don't like this becoming a vertical. It needs to move in with that. But we could go here. Yeah, I know I don't normally love it, and I don't particularly love right now when you can see all the shape in the inside of the letter. So let's see if I can move it a little bit. It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Okay, bus, chipboard. No way that's going to stick all these years later. It's Christmas 2015. Okay. Bus 54, and then we need a where are you underneath here, which needs to be smaller lettering. Could deal with it being little tile letters. Let's see what we got. Trouble is, it needs to be a tile that I have quite a few of, because where are you? Like, I need 3 E's. Let's have a look at sticker books here to see what I've got. That one will work. Yeah. All right. And we'll do this in reverse with question mark. Now, did anybody else watch Car 54, or am I talking total random rubbish to everybody today? So it would have already been in syndication when I was a kid. But it was, I believe, in black and white. I remember it being in black and white. Same era as Mr. Ed the Talking Horse, I believe. And it was like 2 cops who were comedy bad. Like they would like catch the baddies by accident. And there was a certain amount of slapstick humor involved from my memory. Yeah, like goofy cops who were always getting it wrong, but in the end it would all be right. And so, yeah, I watched it as a child. But I believe, like, the sorts of shows that I watched at the same time, Joanne knew of it and Cynthia watched it. Amazing. So I watched that with Mr. Ed, My Three Sons. What else? Donna Reed. Cynthia's got a crown now. Whoop whoop. Yeah, it's not the same as Herbie. Car 54 was a police car, not a race car. So the opening theme tune was like dispatch going, car 454, where are you? Like, we're looking for you and you're not here. So yeah, different than Herbie, for sure. But my child realizing that I had not actually written the Bus 54, Where Are You song was one of those moments, like when a song ends up popular on the radio, but it's a cover because like some young singer has covered an old song, and the young generation think that they sang it originally, like they wrote it. I mean, my generation thought that Tiffany wrote I Saw Him Standing There, which is a Beatles song that's just gender flipped. And I remember, like, in the school playground being like, everybody knows that Tiffany wrote this, but I grew up in a Beatles household, so I was like, she really didn't. And so this was the same experience where he just thought this is my original composition, and I had to break it to him that, no, this is a cover. This is a parody. Right. Annoyingly, I hate that this has ended up the same width as that. I'm really tempted to mess with the song in order to make it design friendly. Like story-wise, I could do when dash where are you? I don't have a slash. But I think I'm going to do that because I want to tell both stories. I need to make sure I have enough room. Or could I just do or? I don't think there's room to do or. Oh, and I do have one more R. Okay, hold on. Let's see, but I don't think it'll fit. I'd need, no, it could overlap onto there. Maybe we think that's better. Yeah, Georgia, I did think about the, oh, where are you? Yeah. Just respace it. They're those really thin stickers, so if I pull them, we're not going to get them looking nice again. It's not impossible, but they're super thin. Okay, I'm coming to terms with this in my head because I like the way the journaling's going to go. That I can do both stories. I know it's a little bonkers, but so is the story, like both stories. Who just shows up for the bus and then finds out your bus today will be from any decade. And oh my goodness, the people on the bus day, very interesting. Definitely not my normal 54 commuter crowd. There we go. I'm going to do that long title like that. Happier. Yes, I'm happier. Okay. Now, the chipboard numbers have also a bunch of stars. So I wonder about adding them in and then some enamel dots. So let's do 3 stars. We could do 1, 2, 3. Is that where I want them vaguely? This one is not. I'm not happy with this one yet. But something needs to happen in here. Okay. Those probably need glue. Disclaimer, they're gonna need glue. Dots. Hello, Nikki. All right, so we have orange here that we don't have a lot of orange anywhere else. So let's do 3 little orange groupings. Okay, I am going to work with that little spot that I've made there, but we're going to put these in here first. How have I ended up with 1 mini orange dot? I don't know. Okay, let's see. What if I just need an eraser? Yeah, that's fine. Now, I think what I will do to have 2 different places for journaling, I'm going to journal onto this, and then some strips of paper writing that are going to go across here. Nikki says, what were the letter stickers? Okay, so these are from Christmas Magic. They were just a number set. These are from a Simple Stories sticker book. And these are really old red glitter thickers. I'm not sure what collection they were from. I want to say that that font was a Pebbles font, but I could be wrong. Okay. So yeah, writing on these lines and then some strips up here. So let's see what paper I could use for that. Ha ha ha, perfect. Oh, wrong direction. But this, however, I can do. Oh, or I could just cut a box and not have to do strips. Let's just bring in a box up here. Me says, just hopping in, can I ask you if you scrap sad things too? Yes, and there are different times in my life when the balance is different. I have whole albums full of sad when that was my life status. I wasn't happy with how things were going. I felt very lost. I wrote it all down. I am thankful to have not been in that spot particularly recently, but I have certainly done things like I do scrapbook, the bittersweet feeling that you get when people's suffering ends, but it means they're no longer with you. That sort of thing is a very real thing that makes it into my albums. I have a lot of albums where I scrapbooked a lot of hidden journaling about sorting out childhood things. My childhood was very interesting. I could probably write a memoir, but for the time being and when I needed to process through it, I did a lot of writing and putting it in envelopes so that I might scrapbook the the journaling about what was in the photos on the page, but then there'd be something tucked behind that was me working out my feelings. Michelle, thank you so much. Somebody looked up the history of graham crackers and is now laughing. I'm so glad. I can't talk about it here because now you know. It's not exactly family friendly, but it's hilarious. I don't know how they came up with that idea, but there we go. Yeah. I feel like now this needs a little something on the side, so let's just bring in one more set of flowers, and that's probably it. Okay, so what we got? We could bring in... I'm just using these flowers like they're never going to end, but I think we can make it through to the end of the month. It's fine. Need small, don't I? That way? Yeah. There we are. Gold. Let's put some gold on this baby. Nikki says, I wonder if Nabisco has the same stance now. I do not know. Jean's like, using your stash, that's a great idea for a class. Yeah. Right, we're going to follow where the enamel dots went, and we're going to make that area sparkly. And apparently also Maleficent. You just deserve to sparkle, baby. Don't you worry. Now, little trick. When one dot goes into place where you didn't expect it, although hilariously, that dot went in the actual center of the O, and that's so cute. But if one dot goes into a place where you didn't expect it to go, just go put more dots there. So many times, more is the answer. So I have one dot on the journaling card here, so I'm going to add a couple. Do be careful with lots of dots of mist on a journaling card because it will mess up your pens. Like, not instantly, but they won't last as long. Okay. And here. Now, this is a great place for a little phrase sticker or strip with, you know, dates and locations. If you need more of that, you could also do a strip down here with either just another sentence or two or journaling, or if you need, you know, a second line of subtitle. All of those things can fit there. If you like what's happening here, but you don't like patterned backgrounds, just make this, but stick it on white cardstock, either with or without ink around the edges. But one 4x6, and then to make these, oh, which I just realized I've got ink all over the photos, which I normally take right off. Okay. There we are. Normally I notice that. What was I saying? So to make these small photos, so I've put them to print like I would normally do my 2-up 3x4 photos on one 4x6, but then I printed with border. So if you're using the app, it'll say, make sure it's set as borderless because it's already going to put your small white border on, but I then ignore that and put it on bordered to get a bigger border around the outside, which therefore makes the photos smaller. Okay? Right, so there we are. That is today's page all done. Now, anybody who is in Just Joy, I'll be live again at 2 o'clock today just for you. And if you can't make it, but you've already got questions, there is a thread on the class forum where you can ask your questions. And now, I'm going to leave you on a nice little talk to you about like this class or this video has been sponsored by, because it sort of has. Hi. This video has been sponsored by my new class, Just Joy. So I just want to tell you before we go a little bit more about Just Joy in case you've been sitting on the fence or going, what? I don't quite get the concept for this. Let me talk it through. But if you were just interested in seeing today's layout, that's all done and you are free to go. But here we go. If you want to know more about Just Joy. So there are 20 lessons, which are each either a full 12 by 12 page or a full pocket page. They're not like one individual pocket. It's the full thing. Plus 6 live streams where I will be making at least a page, sometimes more. But then you are there in the live chat, so it's a bit like office hours. So it's different than this kind of live stream. It's not random rubbish. We're not going to talk about s'mores. And I don't think I have any photos of s'mores stacked up for scrapbooking in this class. Sad times. But we stay on the topic. So that's the difference between live streams here on YouTube and in class, is that everything is to a curriculum. I've made a master plan and I know what I want to teach you. My goal as a scrapbook teacher is never for you to copy exactly what I make, because I don't think that that makes you a happy crafter, unless that's specifically what you want to do that day. And then of course you can just follow along. It's always possible, just like what I just did. But what I really want you to do is to be able to spot the things that you love and the things that can become your style. So what we do is I show you a page and I tell you while I'm making it, not only how I'm making it, but why I'm making it, why I'm making the design decisions that I'm making, why I'm making the storytelling decisions that I'm making, why it goes in this place in my album. And in this class specifically, all the different things that make me very, very excited and joyful about that scrapbooking process. And then in that lesson, at the end, there's a discussion list, and it has a list of bullet points of the things that I wanted you to notice that I've talked to you about that bring me joy there, but with some open-ended things for you to think. Do I get joy from the same thing that Shimelle does there? Or do I actually prefer a different way, so that you can have this little mental checklist of going, you know what, the things I really love are, and they'll be your list of things that you love, not just mine. You don't need to copy mine, but I want all of us to have that energy that we can embrace and love our craft. So yes, class live streams definitely have live chat and interaction, and it's more like an office hours session so that I can scrapbook, but you can ask all sorts of questions about the process and about whatever we're doing. Sarah said she loved the first lesson. Yay. And George is going to sign up on payday. That's fabulous and allowed. That's a really good point, actually. If you don't sign up on the first day, that's okay. You can join in on my classes when it suits your schedule, because the things don't disappear. The only thing is that if you want to join in the live streams, those are live. So there's 6 of those, and they are not all the same date and time, so that there can be different things for different time zones. I know that America would love to have one in the evening, but that's the middle of the night here. And so that's not going to happen. But I've got some in the morning, I've got some in the afternoon my time, and I'm going to do some evening my time, so that then it's all kind of broken up so that you have a chance. I'm really sorry that it just works out that if we did something really nice, like 6 o'clock in the evening, in Kansas City is midnight here. I'm not my best scrapbooking at midnight. Maybe at a crop, but not at home talking to you on camera. And also everyone in my house would be asleep and their bedrooms are right there, so they would not be happy with me. So, but we'll have some morning, some afternoon, some evening UK time, and then you can adjust from there. Me says, if I join today, if I join now, can I see the live today? Yes, if you join before 1 p.m. today, I'll get you in so that you can watch the live stream at 2 o'clock. Yep. Nikki has already noticed a couple of things she wants to think about and see how it influences her approach, and that's with just 1 lesson. Yay! So if you have signed up and you haven't headed over yet, you've got 2 things to watch already. If you can't watch them before the live stream, it's okay. You can go back and watch them. But there's a welcome video which shows you my whole process, and we have, because I'm scrapbooking things from April, May, and June, there's actually one of these walkthroughs at the beginning of April, the beginning of May, the beginning of June. Not on the calendar, we're just 6 weeks, but in what I'm scrapbooking. So that you can see all of the stories I'm going to tell, what's already scrapbooked and what I'm going to be doing and how it all fits together. But that's not a lesson, it's just a video to help give you some framework. And then the 20 lessons are all different actual things that I'm making through with that whole process and the bullet list of things for you to think about. And then we have discussion forums where you can come and ask questions. You can share your thoughts on that. We've already got a thread going about how people are printing photos, getting different ideas for a different kind of process for what might work for you to make the scrapping like as obstacle-free as possible. And that's definitely part of joy. Once you get a system where there's not a lot of obstacles in your way and you can just go straight into something that you really enjoy doing, then that brings you a lot more joy than having like 10 things you have to get done first, right? So that's where we are. You can join us. It's the 20 lessons plus 6 live streams. It's $25 US. And you can sign up on the link in the description box. Thank you very much for listening to my hashtag advertising. But you know, this is what makes me actually be able to do this as a job, is me teaching classes. So I would love for you to come and join and we can scrapbook together, or you can just watch and then scrapbook later. It's all good. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching today. I'm really glad you're here, whether it's for a live stream or for class. Thanks. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Then I make an awkward face where I find the button. Okay, bye.